Hello and welcome to the GCN Racing News Show. On the show this week we have new cobbles at Paris-Roubaix, a sneak peek inside the inner battles at an e-race with Team Ineos, more contract news and my Garden Hour record, well, it's been toppled. First off, Annemiek van Vleuten has been getting the miles in ahead of a return to racing this coming August. Only a few months away now, isn't it? It's going to come around quick. The Dutch world champion rode 400 kilometres in a single ride last week, taking her 11 hours and 15 minutes at an average speed of 35.7 kilometres per hour. She wasn't hanging around, was she? She completed the ride with fellow World Tour rider Jan Willem van Schip, who just happens to be her neighbour. Apparently he persuaded her into it. What about this for a solution to track sprinting? The socially distant track stand, as demonstrated by Team GB track coach Kevin Stewart. Now that is one way to do it, isn't it? And you know what? It's given me an idea. Socially distant feeding with my son Jesse. Okay, here we go. Oh, God, no, come on, we'll try again.
That's really enticing.
There we go. No feedings. Okay. Boy. Now, with Paris-Roubaix set for the 25th of October, as we discussed on a previous racing news show, it will take place on Super Sunday. Sorry, any excuse to do that. Yeah. Anyway, Les Amis de Paris-Roubaix, the volunteer group which wonderfully restores and maintains some of those beautiful Paris-Roubaix sections, has been back to work. Yep, the group have been on the infamous Mons-en-Pavel section, maintaining those cobbles and getting them ready for the race this coming October. And we'd like to congratulate them on some amazing work. It's great to see, and it's got me so excited to see some racing on the cobbles again. And if you'd like to check out any further work by Les Amis de Paris-Roubaix, you can find the link in the description below this video. Team Ineos have got involved in another e-race over the weekend, taking part in a 43-kilometre course of 4 laps round the Yorkshire course on Zwift. Now, Rohan Dennis took the win, again showing his e-racing prowess and also his sheer talent for putting down the numbers. He managed to escape on the opening lap with his Spanish teammate Jonathan Castroviejo, and they quickly built a good advantage. By the midway point of the race, Dennis and Castroviejo had a 1 minute 30 advantage on the rest of the peloton, which is pretty impressive if you ask me. It's pretty hard to get a gap and maintain it on an e-race. Now, Rohan Dennis described the race as pretty brutal, and he said he was completely wrecked after it. He had to put in a solid effort because he went solo actually. He dropped Jonathan coming into the finish, and the peloton was hot on his heels with Dylan van Baarle and Ben Swift rounding out the podium. And you know, it's got me thinking, if there's an e-racing world championships, which I can see as a likely prospect actually, Rohan Dennis looks like a pretty good bet. He's had 3 wins out of 3 on different e-races on different terrains, so you really couldn't look past him, could you? And also, when the season does get underway, I think he's going to do, well, quite a lot of damage on the road as well. Contract news has continued apace, and I think this is great for the sport, especially in light of the lack of racing. The most notable signing, I think, came last week when Trek Segafredo announced a mid-season signing of Peter Weening. The 39-year-old Dutchman is a very experienced rider with wins at the Giro d'Italia and the Tour de France. However, he was left without a team at the end of the 2019 season. And, well, he put him in a tough place, but he continued training at pace, sticking to his schedule in the hope that a team would pick him up at the start of the 2020 season. Peter brings a wealth of experience and strength, and it's really going to bolster their chances of success when racing does resume. FDJ also announced a spate of re-signings with Thibaut Pinot, David Gaudu, Stefan Kuhn and Arnaud Demar re-signing with the squad for 3 seasons after the end of this year. Remco Evenepoel is off to the Giro. Yep, the 20-year-old Belgium super talent has confirmed he'll take part in his first Grand Tour this year at the Giro d'Italia. He spoke with Gazzetta dello Sport confirming his participation in the race. However, he will go with zero pressure, take things as they come, and he'll only go for the Maglia Rossa if he feels good, which is, well, the exact tactic that I employed at the Giro d'Italia. And yeah, I didn't feel good. However, it is an interesting prospect, and it'll be really interesting to see how Remco does do in the race. However, if he does win this year's edition, he won't be the youngest winner of all time. Oh no, that feat is reserved for Frenchman Henri Cornet, who won the 1904 Tour de France at the grand old age, get this, of 19 years, 11 months and 20 days. Chris Froome is back racing, everyone, taking part in a Zwift e-race against a load of different celebrities. The race was broadcast on Zwift's YouTube channel and Sky Sports. It was a chase format with celebrities doing a power test before being set off at regular intervals dependent on their power test results. Celebrities that took part included singer Olly Murs and also Spice Girl Mel C. So I guess all I can say to that one is zigga zigga, zigga zigga zay, ah. If you wanna be my lover. So the celebrities were given a head start of up to 13 minutes in the end over the 22.9 kilometre course. And well, it was a close run thing with former England cricketer Kevin Peterson and Spice Girl Mel C just being caught on the line by Chris Froome. So it was in fact Chris Froome who won the day. Most importantly, this was a charity race and money raised will help provide free loan bikes for NHS workers in the UK, which we think is a very worthy cause. Now, more sobering news, Michele Scarponi's parrot is back, everyone. And I think in all the devastating and heartbreaking news of the last weeks and months, well, this clip just brought a smile to my face, if not a tear as well. The late great Michele Scarponi's favourite training partner was actually a parrot named Frankie. And since the very sad death of Michele Scarponi due to a traffic accident, his parrot Frankie has not been seen as often on the backs of many riders. However, in this clip, as you can see now, Antonio Nibali is Frankie's latest training partner. And this just brought a smile to my face. It's a beautiful moment to see, and it definitely goes to serve to keep the memory of the late great Michele Scarponi alive. Nacer Bouhanni came out saying that he wouldn't be at the Tour de France this year, which is quite sort of surprising news to me. The controversial French sprinter who signed for Arkea Samsic, mainly due to the fact he had quite a few previous disagreements with his old team Cofidis over Tour de France selection. So I think it is quite surprising to me that he'd sort of suddenly just not be selected for the Tour after all that, brushing it sort of under the carpet, saying that the Tour de France was too hilly for him this year, because the Tour de France is quite often hilly. I'm just messing, but you kind of get my drift. And I think it is kind of understandable at the same time, because Arkea Samsic have really bolstered their squad this season, with Colombian super talent Nairo Quintana coming across to serve as their GC ambitions in the Grand Tours. With so much quick and fast racing coming up at that time, there's plenty of other goals for Bouhanni to focus on. So I guess his omission is understandable, if I'm honest and fair. Now, with some countries easing lockdown restrictions sooner than others, we've managed to see a couple of races start to take place. Through his team's press office, Tenex Tiba confirmed that he'd taken part in a race near Prague in the Czech Republic. The race was 66 kilometres long, 50 laps of a small circuit, and only Czech riders were allowed to take part. Tenex said it was great fun and also good to get back to the feel of racing. Now, I know it's just a small race, but I think it's just great to know that races are beginning to take part again and gives us that little bit of hope that the race calendar in autumn will take place. So yeah, we still cross our fingers on that one. Now, in other news that we reported on last week in the GCN show, well, my garden hour record has been broken. Dutch BMX star Niek Kimmen took the record early last week, managing 20.3 kilometres. And well, cycling media have reported on it widely. It was the news of the week really, all over Europe. And I think that just goes to show what a prestigious record the garden record is, if I'm honest. I mean, I am speaking for myself, but yeah. The women's race calendar is gearing up for a return. However, it is looking a little bit thin on the ground after the coronavirus pandemic. The Women's World Tour is down to just 14 races now. So that's 10 one-day races and 4 stage races. The Giro, the Bulls Ladies Tour, Chongming Island and the Madrid Challenge. And saying that, the Dutch government still haven't confirmed if events will take place after the 1st of September. So that means the Amstel Gold Race and the Bulls Ladies Tour is still not quite on the table. The UCI is also due to make a decision on men's and women's races at the Professional Cycling Council and UCI Management Committee meetings. Whew. They sound really fun, don't they? But anyway, we await the results of these meetings with bated breath because it will be the final decision on this new race calendar. I know, I thought we'd already made this decision, if I'm honest, but apparently there is still some room for manoeuvre with races changing dates dependent on the local advice from authorities in those regions. So I guess we can only wait and hope and cross our fingers that next week we will be reporting on the final, newly revised race calendar. Yeah. After the cancellation of the Women's Tour in the UK, well, race organisers have announced that the race will still manage to go ahead, albeit in a different format. The Women's Tour will go ahead on the e-racing platform RGT, with 15 of the best women's teams taking part across 3 stages. I think this is really great that this prestigious race is still managing to go ahead despite the circumstances. And it will also be broadcast live on a variety of different platforms, including the British broadcasters, the BBC. Personally, I've just been loving all this e-racing, but I'd really like to hear from you guys. And on the poll this week, I'm going to ask you guys on the GCN app, what do you feel about e-racing now? Has your opinion of it changed? And I'm really interested to hear the results on this one. Has e-racing won you over? Now, on to the results of last week's poll. And I asked you guys, which monument would you most like to ride solo? And well, the results, they kind of surprised me because, well, the winner is Paris-Roubaix, with 39% of the GCN audience saying they'd rather ride Paris-Roubaix solo than any of the other monuments. I mean, I think the only thing to draw from that is that the GCN audience are masochists who'd rather suffer on the cobbles. So, fair play to you all, I guess. My choice was Milan-San Remo, and I don't know how anyone else would have shunned that, to be honest. Nice sunny ride down the Mediterranean coast. 26% of you would have joined me. You know, you guys go and ride your cobbles. I understand. The cobbles do have their draw as well. In third place, we had the Tour of Flanders. 13% on the Tour of Flanders. Giro de Lombardia, that was 12%, and last was Liège-Bastogne-Liège. So thanks everyone for getting involved on that poll, and good luck to those of you who are going to go off now and ride Paris-Roubaix solo. I'll be in the sun. Right, that's it for this week's show, everyone. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to get involved on the GCN app on this week's poll. Let me know your thoughts on e-racing. But most importantly, stay safe, and well, we'll see you all again soon. Super Sunday. Super Sunday, Super Sunday, Super Sunday, Super Sunday, Super Sunday. Soup for your Sunday? Soup for your Sunday? Nigel, put the kettle on.